Okay, I started again. Uh, I tried to cut the delay so it's a little faster. I can read the chat a little. Fuck. Can read the chat a little quicker. uh, Trying a few other things. I want to see if. Oh, hold up. I might need to exit out of this. Gotta wait for a few things to load. Okay. Damn it, fuck me. Uh, oh no, I've got to do something entertaining. Okay, I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing. Fuck me. Alright. Shit. Gotta make sure that this fucking. Ayo. Okay, so at least I know that the chat's back up. Uh. Ba 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 bo 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 bo. Alright, I'd like to see. Alright, so you can see what I'm doing, like on the screen. So I'm going to place like a character onto like the tier list and tell me like if you see the character on the tier list. This is it's just a little easy way to see like just inform me as like oh here it is. Yeah, I see it in shit like that. Just tell me if you see it. Yep, people see it. Okay, so all right. With that as the case, would you or like I'm just gonna ask just so that there's some more like cohesion. Why'd they ever stop Punch Time Explosion? I don't know. Fucking uh, would y'all want me to start with like the tier list for like a Punch Time Explosion tier list really quick, or would you rather me like start with like a Q&A or something? Again, this is me just starting out. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I'm just this is just like a quick little thing to test out the waters. I thought a dumbass tier list or something would be a cool little thing. Lunchtime Explosion was very not good, honestly. You know what? You're right. Want to see a tier list first? I once money matched tier list. Once money matched Cheesy in Punch Time, and I made him give me his house. Yo, dumbass wanted to do fucking, what was it? Hos Delgado dittos. It was the fucking stupidest thing. It was. Oh my god. All right. So, with that being the case, let me refresh so I can make sure that like the tier list and everything is hunky dory. I can see everything like live, and then we will proceed with the tier list. Okay, this seems good. Let me fucking narrator. Done. Hold up. I need to get it so that this thing is. Fuck. How do I make it so that it's the pop out chat again? I fucking did it at first, and now I can't fucking find the way to fucking do it. There it is. Alright, as soon as I have this, then I'll be able to fucking do it. Yeah, they didn't put, I'm not sure why they didn't put Ed, Edd n Eddy or Courage. I think it had to do with licensing issues. I'm pretty sure that, like, Ed, Edd n Eddy is also owned by a separate company, in Canada. Same with Courage, but I don't know if it's for a different company, or like it is a different company, but I don't know if it's for a different country or anything like that. I just know that they're not like in the same like league as the Cartoon Network originals. So it was probably harder to get like the licensing for them, and plus like it's a licensed game made for a profit that is made extremely cheaply. So obviously they they're not gonna go all out to get like the license for these characters. All right, let's start with the tier list. Oh god, this is gonna be fucking horrible. All right, so let me address these real quick because Punch Time Explosion is a very good game, and it's also very balanced. Every character has a good matchup against every other character. It's pretty easy to see. So we're gonna arrange the tier list like this. Just a simple classification: bottom tier, low tier, mid tier, high tier, hold up, top tier, and then broken. Broken. Alright. So if how do I start this off? There are a few inconsistencies with this game, and that is that if you are in like this tier, like you know how in Smash Ultimate, like in Smash Ultimate, every character is basically viable except for like maybe Little Mac, Kirby, Dr. Mario, like those characters. Every character is viable aside from like those and like maybe a few more. And that's like out of a roster of 70 plus characters, which is like really impressive that the game can be that balanced despite the fact that it has that many characters in it. This game doesn't work like that. If you are in low tier or bottom tier, you are straight. You just can't be played. Like you will not win with these characters. All right, that's my whole. That's my whole take on this. So we're gonna start from bottom tier to broken. So bottom to top, basically. And the worst character in this game is Hostel Gato. So here's the thing about all of these characters. Uh, the tier list is basically divided into can this character kill, and that's basically it. Like in Smash, kill power is a little subjective. Sheik or like characters like Sheik or Duck Hunt don't really have great kill power, but they aren't bad characters. Like Little Mac has exceptionally like better kill power than both Sheik and Duck Hunt, but he's an objectively worse character because his recovery is bad and his air game is terrible. Like you got that right. That's an easy thing to understand. Fucking Hostel Gato and all of the other bottom tiers in this game, if you can't kill, then you just don't win in this game. Because not killing isn't like, oh, you can only kill at like 160% or 170%. Not killing is. Not killing in this game is not killing until 300%. And I'm not joking on that. That is not like an exaggeration. That's not like a thesis. That is exactly how it is in this game. If you don't kill, you are not going to be killing with any move until like 300. That's ridiculous, right? That sounds impossible. However, in Punch Time Explosion, everything is possible. So everything is possible. So the thing about House Delgado is that he is built like a heavyweight character. He has very slow attacks. He has really slow frame data. He's one of the largest characters in this game, aside from like Vilgax and Scotsman, and he's fucking. The thing about this is, imagine if you had Sheik's kill power, but you had like King K. Rool's body. Like imagine that. Sheik's kill power, K. Rool's body, and then like maybe DDD or Bowser frame data. Or like, well, Bowser's frame data isn't that bad in this game. Let's say Melee Bowser frame data. that's like what we're dealing with. So Hostel Gato is he upsets me so much because I actually really like Hostel Gato in Billy and Mandy. Shoutouts to Billy and Mandy. That show's amazing. But fucking Hostel Gato is terrible. He has no kill power. He has two combos out of his throws, and that is up throw to up air, and forward throw to forward air or side B, and that's basically it. That's all that he has in order to rack up damage. Unlike like most of the other characters in this game, he also can't camp. He doesn't have any like actual like good projectiles. He has a neutral B chainsaw, which is basically like imagine a Falco laser, but it has the frame data of like charging half of Samus's charge shot and then shooting it out. That's what we're dealing with here. Imagine if you had to charge Falco's laser. That's it. That's what Hostel Gato is. In the scene, there's no hitboxes, so you can keep running through people. No hurt boxes, you mean? Or like no collision boxes. Is there an assist trophy tier list for PTE? There isn't. I don't think so, but that would be something. That would be interesting. So aside from yeah, aside from those points, Haas is just bad. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any kill power. None of his moves kill, which is so weird for a character that's supposed to be like a heavyweight type character. He has very minimal combos. His up air is he has like some of the worst traits of all of like Smash Ultimate's characters. He has like Zelda up air. He has uh what is it? He has fucking Captain Falcon side B kind of. He has bad Falco lasers. Just all of these really weird traits just mixed into this like incomplete character. I don't understand why he's like this. So yeah, that's Hostel Gato. This is the worst character in the game by far to me. Uh, then second worst is going to be him. If I can like put them on the tier list. There we go. Second worst character is going to be him from Powerpuff Girls. This character is basically has most of like the same things that I complained about with Hostel Gato. This is like a character that's really tall that also has no kill power for no reason. They just don't kill with any move. All of their smash attacks do like next to no knockback, as well as their only zoning tool really being like neutral B, which like causes him to like extend out his claw a little bit. But that's basically it. That's all that they do. They can rack up damage with their side B, which is basically like a really big version of like Ganondorf's down B, like the fucking Warlock kick. But that's that's all they can do. They can rack up damage, but they can't kill, and that's basically the main reason as to why Hostel Gato is worse than this character. Because at least him can not rack up damage, but that's the only thing. It's the only thing they could do. Him has potentially the best recovery in the game. Uh, that's debatable, but even so, like I do think that him has a good recovery. But that's the thing. Every character in this game has a good recovery, and I mean every character. Every single character in this game has a good recovery. Like have a recovery is basically not even a factor in this tier list because no one has a bad recovery. So there's no like way to like quantify that at all. Edge guarding barely exists in this game either. So it's not like you're really going to uh, it's not like you're going to pick apart someone's recovery by like edge guarding them because there's no edge guarding. If you try to edge guard someone, they're just gonna come back anyway. Edge guarding basically boils down to just racking up damage, just like hitting them off stage. They're gonna come back eventually, but you'll just have the opportunity to eventually, or like you'll have the opportunity to rack up damage because they're like forced to be off stage. That's the extent of edge guarding. it's re- I don't understand. I don't understand why him is this bad. Uh, the other thing is that him only has one combos that go on for years. You'll see when we get to like high tier that uh characters combo games get really stupid and annoying. But for now, like since we're looking at the bottom tier, this is like the best that him is gonna get. Him has up throw up air, and then that's basically it. And maybe like up throw down B. Down B is Luigi Cyclone, by the way. And it doesn't do knockback, or like it has very minimal knockback. That's this character, just a minimal knockback on everything. You might be able to kill with forward smash at like 290% or something at the ledge. Yeah, I'm not revealing any characters for Slime Time. This is just like any Slime Time discussion is just like future plans that don't really involve character reveals. All that you're gonna get is like discussion about SpongeBob, SpongeBob, Plankton, Jimmy, Calamitous, Vlad, Danny, Timmy, and Crocker. Those are the 8 characters that you know about right now. Unlike in Lol What If, like with Lol What If, I just wanted to announce characters as much as possible and just like get out the roster so that people would be like, oh shit, he's got this person in his Lol. But like for me, I just want like for Slime Time, I kind of want I want to make it like an event where like you don't know any of the roster, so like any character reveal is exciting in a way. Yeah, you feel me? It's like an extra little thing to make to bring it closer to like Smash's sort of hype train reveal status. Echo fighters for each current Slime Time character, not reveals, just ideas. I do have echoes in mind. They'll probably be called something different, but I do have certain echoes in mind. I won't reveal them, but I'll like deconfirm some of them, I guess. Uh, what is it? I guess for like one thing that I'll like say is that if y'all remember like Danny Phantom's cousin in uh, was it Danny Phantom's cousin in Danny Phantom, like Danny with an I, Danielle. Like she's not going to be like Danny's Echo Fighter or anything like that. That's one thing that I'll deconfirm. If you can't tell us who's in the game, can you at least tell us how many characters you have planned? Basically, every like, have you seen the roster image? Like, just the fucking like big wall of like empty space, and then it has SpongeBob, Timmy, Jimmy, and Danny in the middle. That's basically every character. I have most of the characters planned, but like that's the maximum amount of like characters that I'll have in the game. It's about like 70 characters or something. I'm not like there's no guarantee that I'll actually get to all of those characters, but you know. All I want for Slime Time is a Mr. Meaty rep. That's funny. Mr. Meaty's not even viable for Slime Time representation because it's still live action. It's puppets, but it's still live action. Although don't digress. There might like even with like live action properties, there will be representation in Slime Time. Maybe not as characters, but as something else potentially. Not sure who Remy is, John. Not sure who that is that you're suggesting for Timmy's Echo Fighter. Chloe will not be Timmy's Echo Fighter. That's an easy. That's like an easy thing to do, like Chloe for Timmy because they both have Cosmo and Wanda. But uh, fuck Chloe. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not. I'm not watching through those episodes. There will not be any live action characters. Jules, no, there will not be. Uh, moving on to like the rest of bottom tier. Who is it that I was gonna put here? Shit, I forgot. When's how about Gary? Hola about Gary. You mean how about Gary? I'm gonna guess. Uh, Potentially. You'll see. Rummy Bucks aplenty? That would be interesting. What inspired you to make moveset videos? Fucking just chincharinas. I mean, like, who else would it be? He's the original creator, and also, I guess, like, I think I remember mentioning before that it was, like, Scapokun's moveset for Perry the Platypus that made me want to get back into into the community, because back when I back when I first started out with LOL, I was like a little dumbass baby who wanted to just make bad movesets. And I made a parry moveset back in the day, but it was pretty bad. And and in the description of that video, he mentioned, or they mentioned, sorry, my bad, but they mentioned that uh, that like regular dude 45 made a really terrible parry the platypus moveset, and I just had to make the parry moveset better, and I was like, oh damn, that sucks. So I decided, oh, I'll come back and I'll be good this time. Third worst character. Sorry, I'll get to that. My bad. This is going on a tangent and everything. Fucking. I'm trying to look this up because I have this list of characters. This is a real game. It ain't a real game. I for one count Mr. Meaty as a Nicktoon, but I can understand that show not getting representation. Also, my idea for a playable fighter. Slime Time Poof from the Fairly Odd Parents. Actually, that's interesting. That's interesting to hear because Poof will be represented within Timmy's moveset. Like he's not going to be a main factor, but he will be in Timmy's moveset. There we go. Okay, I got the rest of the tier list. So next character, and I had a feeling, but next character is Captain Planet. So he's like if I can take a break from slime time discussion for a little bit. Uh, Captain Planet is one of the worst characters in this game because of the same reasons that him and Haas Delgado are bad. Is because he can't kill, and that's so weird to think because he's supposed to be Captain, like a Captain Falcon clone. He's supposed to be the like the next bit like a copy basically of Captain Falcon because he's got the knee of justice. He's got like a Falcon punch type move. He's got uh, a lot of Captain Falcon's things, but none of them kill. For some reason, the knee does not have a sweet spot. The knee is just like a really dinky hitbox that you just kind of swing around, and that's kind of it. There's no combo ability. It doesn't have the sweet spot, so it doesn't have that insane damage output that Captain Falcon has, and it doesn't have like the knockback and everything. But aside from that, Captain Planet is very lacking. He actually does have like somewhat of a combo game, like in juxtaposition to him and Haas Delgado. He has up throw up air, like up throw up air chains, up throw up tilt chains. He can do up tilt to up airs, and that's kind of it. But but hey, it's something. It's something. Not many characters have anything like that, or like not many characters this low on the list have things like that. And also, Captain Planet's side B stalls him infinitely in the air. What it is basically Captain Falcon's Raster Boost, or like Raptor Boost, whatever it's called. He like just flings himself to the side, covered in flames, but it has no lag, and you can just keep doing it. So you can stall infinitely in the air. It's really weird. I don't know why you're able to just stall out in the air, but you can do it. And also, it combos into itself for a couple of percent, so you can rack up damage that way. It's just that Captain Planet can't kill. He has a lot of combo moves, or he has a decent amount of combo moves in comparison to the rest of the cast. He has a lot of cool. He has a few little movement tricks, but that's it. He just he doesn't have the ability to kill you, which I mean is pretty accurate to Captain Planet. I mean he's not gonna kill anyone, is he? He's just gonna he's he's fighting for the safety of the Earth. He doesn't want to kill anyone. Yeah. Uh, When will Lol What If return? I got no idea, dude. Whenever I feel like it, I guess. I'm just not up for it currently. Slime Time is like just basically the replacement for it for now because I don't know. I've always been a Nickelodeon kid, and like having all these Nickelodeon characters in these are like in one unified platform fighter is like it brings little tingles to my heart. Your videos are awesome, dude. Thanks. How about Doug? Oh wait, he's a product of Disney. He can actually still be. He's still able to be a character. Uh, like Nickelodeon still partly own Doug. I'm pretty sure because they still have him. They don't. I don't think they've re-released anything with Doug, but they still like use him in like promotional material and stuff like that. So they definitely still have him as like something that they can use. But I guess like he might be considered like a third party character or something. No guarantee that he's in the roster, just like stating, you know. How do you think about the THQ and Valve making a comeback in terms of game production? I think that's really cool. THQ in particular, mainly in what's it called, Battle for Bikini Bottom remake. I think that's really cool. Like I really did. I have a confession to make. I've never played Battle for Bikini Bottom until last year, and last year is 2019 technically. I just got a bunch of like PS2 games, and I decided to play a bunch of the classics that I never actually played before, and I played Battle for Bikini Bottom. It was really fun. Kelp Forest was a terrible level, and I hated it with a passion, but everything else was really good. I know that I think I'm a bit delayed, but that's mostly because stream delay and everything. The thing that I want to see from THQ is I want them to remake some of the Nicktoons crossover games. I would love to see like a remake of like Nicktoons Unite, Nicktoons Volcano Island, and Attack of the Toybots as well. Attack of the Toybots is one of my favorite games ever, which is really weird because it's a licensed game. But there's something about Attack of the Toybots that I just really love. It's just so satisfying to play. Uh, have you heard of Loud House? No, nope, never. Never heard of Loud House. What the fuck is the Loud House? I'm joking. Yes, I've heard of the Loud House. Will there be Loud House representation in Slime Time? However, you'll have to wait and see. Maybe there will be, maybe there will not. Maybe there'll be one, maybe there'll be 30 fucking characters from Loud House. You'll never know. Are you gonna add a guest character from a Disney cartoon from the 90s to Slime Time? Doug, the first Nicktoon, was revived. A run on Disney's One Saturday Morning from 1980. Yeah, I know about all that. There will be like third party characters, third like guest appearances. I might reduce myself to say like one representative from like Cartoon Network or one representative from Disney, something like that. In the same way that like Smash Ultimate or like the Smash Brothers series in general is like a Nintendo franchise, but they still have like third party characters like Snake and Sonic and Cloud who are like next to not associated to Nintendo at all, but still make appearances in the game because it's like a little hype thing. Are you still working on cartoons and Danganronpa? Yes, I am. Just not as much as I would like to. Hey, Cheese. Hello! How you doing, Mushi? The creator kept the rights because Doug started as a mascot character he owned. So when Nick was done, he went to Disney to continue the show. Yeah, yeah, that makes more sense. I wasn't exactly sure about the Doug situation, but yeah, that seems about right. great to see how much you've grown as an editor. That's thank you. That's very nice. It's very nice to hear. All right. In the meantime, let me move on to the last bottom tier character. Yes, there are four bottom tier characters in this game, out of like 26 or whatever how big this roster is. So the last bottom tier character is going to be Young Ben 10. So Young Ben 10 uh, is actually leagues above these three because uh, unlike Captain Planet, him, and Host Delgado, Young Ben 10 can kill. I know. That's insane, isn't it? Here's the thing though, Young Ben 10 has quite possibly the worst frame data in the game. I'm not completely sure about that. He might be like tied with Host Delgado for worst frame data in the game, but he has garbage frame data. All of his moves have like this intentional lag. I'm pretty sure that this character was made to be a joke character because a lot of his moves just straight up have like extra animation in order to make sure that the character is laggier than they're supposed to be. So a lot of their offense is going to boil down to using like the two or three moves that are the least laggy, and that's like neutral air, which is also a combo move, so that's cool. Uh, the first few hits of his jab, and like his forward air. That's basically it. That's all that you're getting in terms of like using this character, because the rest of his moves have an insane amount of lag, like a ridiculous amount of lag. I don't understand why they would do that. I know it's supposed to be a joke character, but that's not how you make a joke character. It's not fun. It's not fun. I play joke characters because they're bad, not because they're unplayable. But the other thing that's going for Young Ben 10 is that his side B is the stupidest thing ever. His side B is his only kill move, and luckily the only kill move that he needs. Uh, he he turns into Accelerate, if you remember that from the actual Ben 10 cartoon. He turns into Accelerate, and then he just dashes forward, and when he dashes forward, it's across the entire stage, basically, on almost every stage aside from the absolute biggest stages. So, as soon as he turns into, like, I'm dumb. As soon as he turns into Accelerate and dashes forward, he has this just gigantic hitbox that covers the entire fucking screen. And if you don't shield it, then you'll actually be dealt with a lot of knockback. At least a lot of knockback relative to this game. So that's his one kill move, and it is a really good kill move, and that's why he is leagues above Captain Planet, him, and Host Delgado. But aside from that, he is terrible. He has some of the worst frame data in the game. His recovery, he has an actually like mediocre recovery in terms of this game, which is so weird. Every character has a good recovery in this game, and then young Ben 10's up B basically goes nowhere. So he's like the one character that you could potentially edgeguard. Aside from that, that's basically the only thing in this game, or that's basically the only thing in bottom tier that can kill ever is Young Ben 10 side B. Question for Morty, Kyle, and Cartman for CIDR: will they be a bit more child friendly to suit the other fighters or the other characters? They will not. For any character in cartoons and Danganronpa, they will be as representative as their home series as possible. So all adult TV show characters will be like cursing. Like they will curse basically, but any character from like a more child-friendly cartoon will not curse. That's basically the criteria for that. What has been your favorite character to work with in cartoons and Danganronpa? what would be your favorite character in Punch Time Explosion? Uh, Favorite character to work with in CIDR. It's kind of hard because literally all of these are supposed to be like my favorites. Like all of these characters and shows in Cartoons of Danganronpa are from my favorite shows. That's basically the reason that I have them all in there anyway. So, eh, I'm just gonna cop out and say all of them. Whatever. Favorite character in Punch Time Explosion is I guess like my main would be Chowder. You'll see why when I get to Chowder, but main would be Chowder. Secondary would be Captain Knuckles. Would the antagonist for Cartoons and Danganronpa be Monokuma or another cartoon character? Well, Monokuma is the main antagonist for any of the Danganronpa games. Uh, Aside from that, uh, any sort of like any antagonist, I don't want to spoil, but you could probably like guess from like the character roster as to like which characters would be the more like the most antagonistic of the lot. It's pretty like easy to guess from that. If you were to put Teen Titans Go heroes in the Slime Time Splatter roster, why would I do that? The Cartoon Network characters. The Cartoon Network characters. I don't really have any purpose in doing that. I guess if they were the guest character, if there was like a Teen Titans guest character, it would be like probably Raven. I'd probably just reduce myself to just one, to just like one character, and it would be like Raven. But like that is if they're the if like Teen Titans is even the representation in like for Cartoon Network and Slime Time. In terms of guest characters for Slime Time, are you going to add them if they are somehow connected to Nickelodeon? Doug has the connections with Disney, and Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. Yeah, that is the other thing that I always found interesting is that like uh, Finn and Jake or Adventure Time was pitched to Nickelodeon originally and had a pilot for Nickelodeon originally before it became a Cartoon Network show. That is like a connection that I could use to justify Finn and Jake in Slime Time. The same thing happened with New Era Outlaws uh, series. What is it? It's it's like Nickelodeon Brawl Stars, I believe it's called, and he used that to justify their inclusion in this Nickelodeon like style game or style project, and I thought that was really cool. But are they going to be in Slime Time? I don't know. I have a few slots open for like unplanned characters, like 5 or 6 slots just for like anything that I decide later, or if there's a community vote that I decide to do, stuff like that. Glad to see you're giving some representation to Making Fiends. Oh, you mean in Cartoons and Danganronpa? Yeah. Making Fiends is my absolute childhood. I don't even like to be like that. Oh my god, my childhood. Oh my god. I don't like doing that, but but Making Fiends would be like the summary of my childhood, as well as Amy Winfrey, the creator, is probably my my biggest hero in life. I know it's kind of weird, but I don't know. She's like her work has had so much of an influence on me that it just happens. It just happened. Uh, I remember. Is a rep for Mr. Meaty show gonna be possible in Slime Time? No, not as a character. Maybe some form of bonus content. but not as a character. Not gonna lie, seeing a Teen Titans stage in Slime Time, I don't know how to describe it. Seems neat. That'd be interesting. Having like the Titans Tower or something like that. That'd be cool. Will there be making Fiend's character in Slime Time? That's for you to find out. I'm not revealing any characters in this stream, just so you know. There will be no character reveals. Maybe hints towards characters, but no reveals. That's what trailers are for. Like you remember from like just a few days ago, I posted the villains trailer. You got to see a glimpse of Plankton, Crocker, Calamitous, and Vlad. That's the only way that I'll be revealing characters. Titan Tower with 3 platforms. Yeah. What's with the Henry and June and Loopy in the Action League? They're not actual playable characters, as far as you know. But for the most part, they're just there to represent the like comic book aesthetic of Slime Time because like Kablam in the show or like in Kablam, they're Henry and June are basically the hosts of the entire show, and they like show everyone cartoons and everything. They're just like, so here's the next episode of this cartoon and everything like that. So I thought it'd be cool for them to be like the hosts of Slime Time in the same way that, let's say, y'all know Beatdown. So in the same way that like Watts and Rosalind are the hosts of Beatdown. Just a, just like as a good comparison. So they have an influence on like a lot of the like style of the style and aesthetic of Slime Time. Like if you can see from the thumbnail of this stream, the little boxes on the side are supposed to be like comic panels, basically. There's a lot of little hints in there, little hints towards like Kablam and other stuff like that. I have a very important question. Will there be pinballs? You mean like the Nick pinball from Lawler Crystal? It might be that might be well that won't be a character, but that could be like an interesting uh like assist trophy or something. Will Monokuma have his sprites from the games or drawn sprites like the other NCIDR? He'll just have the sprites from the games. I don't see too much of a reason to change them, as it's the same character in the same style. Mr. Media sad, damn right. Even ever thought about Mr. Blick, Vendetta, Tack, a video game icon, Rudy, Snap, etc. as playable characters, as fighters slash assists? I mentioned this earlier, but I'm not going to be revealing any characters. But I will say that basically anything in Nickelodeon has been on the consideration list, aside from anything that I'm not a true like fan of. Like, I, uh, I will be straight. I'm not a fan of Doug, but I will consider representing it purely because of what it represents within Nickelodeon. It's like its own, or like it's a classic, and uh, it's a representative of like the times, the '90s, like the era that like Doug, Ren and Stimpy, and Rugrats like brought forth as like this counterculture type style that was different from every other cartoon at the time. So like anything that I even respect, I will definitely be considering. But I will say that I do like every character that you mentioned, Russell. I do like Cat Scratch, Making Fiends, Attacking the Power of Juju. I'm not too big on, but I do like it, or like I do acknowledge it. And Chalkstone is pretty cool too. did you see the Jetcat cartoon on Kablam? Yeah, I did. Jetcat's all right. It's not one of my favorites, but I think it's decent. Favorite is easily like Action League Now and Life with Loopy. All right. Uh, this tier list is basically like a background drop. I think it's a nice little thing to like just keep a consistent topic just in the background while I like after I answer questions, stuff like that. So we'll move on to the low tier, and the low tier starts off with the character that I previously thought was the worst character in the game, Kevin 11. Kevin 11. Uh, at first, I thought Kevin 11 didn't kill, and he still kind of doesn't, but he has kill moves, and that's what puts him above bottom tier. He has like a few kill moves, but he's kind of what's the description? He's got like the same heavyweight philosophy in that he's a very slow character. He's decently tall. He has uh, a bunch of like moves with slow frame data and just that are very punishable. But at the very least, he has one thing that the bottom tier doesn't have, and that's a movement option. He has a side B that basically like makes him travel across the ground. I don't know what it's based on, but I just know that he turns into like a rock creature and like travels across the ground with like a hitbox on him, and it barely has any lag. And you can also pseudo combo into it. So he has an escape option, he has a movement option, he has an option for combos, and he has a few kill moves, albeit they're a bit hard to hit. He's not the best character. But he has stuff. He has things that do kind of work. And that's basically all that he needs in order to not be bottom tier. That's the thing about. I mentioned this like way earlier in the stream, but being bottom tier basically means that you have no application in any situation ever. And so if you're not in bottom tier, then you at least have something that you can do. You can counter like another low tier character or something. The legend, the my leg guy is a fighter. You mean Fred from SpongeBob? I don't think I would do that, but that would be funny. Who's already announced? Who's already announced Slime Time Splatter video? Are you looking forward to uploading? uh, I guess we'll. I think the character with the gimmick that I'm most fond of right now is Professor Calamitous, even though that's probably like the character that no one really. I'm pretty sure it's the character that garnered the least amount of hype in the trailer, but it's like whatever. But I have an interesting gimmick for Calamitous where I want him to kind of be this bizarre, uh, bizarre like bait and punish combo character where he does a lot of risky moves, but they can be very beneficial to him. He's like what's it that Scap calls them, a risk rewarder? Because being in like this giant like robot mech gives me a lot of creative freedom. So I'm able to like base moves basically out of like, oh, these are the things that a robot can do, or these are the things that uh, just a big mechanical machine can do. So I can have it so that like he has a neutral air where like he zaps across his entire body. Like there's an electrical field around him like Pikachu. Another thing that I wanted to do with like Calamitous is make it so that one of his moves makes it so that he self-destructs and that he's only left with like his human body. So and his human body is really weak. Something like that. I don't want to go too in detail with these because like these would be cool to see like in video instead of like just being talked about. But you know. What about breadwinners for slime time? I know the show sucked and they used too many twerk jokes, but I think Sway Sway Medusa have a lot of potential. They don't have any more potential than like Daggett and Norbert from Angry Beavers do, or like Ren and Stimpy. They're basically like if you just want a duo character, you could just go with those. Uh, I'd rather not touch Breadwinners because I hate that show. I'm not gonna really touch much that I'm not a fan of. How about Dora? That would be funny. Nick Jr. characters somehow implemented a slime time so it could be interesting. Yeah, it could be interesting. To be honest, I actually do have a few characters in mind, uh, like a few Nick Jr. representatives in mind, but you'll see. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna main whoever is most like Bowser, just like a big heavyweight bruiser. Well, yeah, I can see that because heavyweights are fun, and the thing with Slime Time is that I'm gonna be able to like inject like my own way of creating a heavyweight character, which is gonna be interesting. Just like a slight spoiler, all of the villains are heavyweights aside from Vlad, I believe. Like Plankton, Crocker, and Calamitous are heavyweights, which is I know it's weird to think of Plankton as a heavyweight, but he's riding on Karen. Calm down. Also, I love your voice. That's an incorrect opinion. Thank you, though. Star versus the Forces of Evil characters for Danganronpa. Uh, Character for Danganronpa. My idea choices are Star Butterfly, Marco Diaz, and Jacqueline Thomas. You mean like for cartoons in Danganronpa? Star Butterfly is already in cartoons in Danganronpa. In case you didn't know. Uh, I try whenever I try to like have characters that are in or like I do have like a lot of plans for cartoons in Danganronpa, and like a lot of my philosophy with putting characters in uh like cartoons in Danganronpa was mostly like what can they add to the dynamic. Like there are a few characters that don't do much in or like in terms of their uh damn it, how would you say it? Like some characters that just aren't as interesting in comparison to like Zim's this fucking alien, this manic alien who's come to Earth to destroy it. That's an interesting premise already. You don't even have to add to that. Powerpuff Girls are like superheroes. That's an easy thing just to add. Like they already have a dynamic in that. Like you don't have to add any like extra personality to it, but they do have extra personality to them. Uh, that's also the reason why Star is in. Like Star Butterfly has uh, an interesting gimmick with their magic and everything. But in terms of like personality combined with that, I would like if a character doesn't have any like superpowers or like anything that sets them above other characters, I would like them to have an interesting hobby or like some kind of or just have a distinct personality. And I don't feel like Marco or Jackie Lynn Thomas would probably be like as interesting as characters like Eric Cartman or like Jenny Wakeman or anyone like that. Use the breadwinners as punching bags. This isn't. Uh, I'm not like 2009 Chincharinas. I'm not. I'm not gonna have like Justin Bieber as a punching bag because I don't like them. I mean, it's funny early, early on in like internet humor, but like as we get to like 2020, it's not as entertaining as uh as I originally found it. Hey Cheesy, have you ever heard or watched Has Been Hotel, and what do you think of Has Been Hotel? Never watched it. I've heard a lot about it though, and I've heard that the Invader Zim's voice actor is in it, or at least in like a spin-off or something. He's Richard Stephen Horvitz, which I thought is really cool, but I don't really have any personal interest in it. Out of all the characters you have left in Lol What If which one is the most exciting about making? I'm personally very excited for JonTron or Sponge. JonTron, I had a very interesting gimmick for. Like I would still be excited to make him. Uh, what were my other plans for? There were a lot of like different cut characters. I still wanted to make Mira from Toilet in Wonderland. If you saw like the cut characters video, I still wanted to make her. I thought that would be very cool. I know like Lola Crystal did it, but I'm gonna be like fully honest. I was not a fan of that moveset, and I would just like to see that character represented a little bit better. The Danganronpa characters, I absolutely still want to make. It's just really hard because none of like they're all sprites. Like I love all of these characters, but it's just really hard to make because they're just like static images. You have to make something like creative out of that, and it's like, really hard, especially since I'm not exactly an animator. I guess I do include animation in my videos, but it's mostly like the manipulation of like limbs and stuff. So like when it comes to anime characters like Makoto Naegi, it's a bit weird to try to like make them move naturally because you there's a certain way that you expect anime characters to move because they move mostly like real people. It's not like making SpongeBob where I can just like make him like squash and stretch a lot of his things. I can't do that with Makoto and the rest of the Danganronpa crew because they're not cartoony. Like if I were making like Monokuma, then yeah, I could probably like get away with some squash and stretch, but I do not. So I don't have that edge. How is Crocker a heavyweight? Crocker's a heavyweight because he's. I'm going through these questions very slowly. I apologize. Uh, Crocker's a heavyweight because of the armor that he's wearing. He's wearing the same fairy armor that he wore during Abracatastrophe when he stole the magic muffin. So it weighs him down. Not as much as like Calamitous. Calamitous will be heavier, but uh, it is an extra thing that like weighs him down the same way that like Link's sword and stuff make Link's sword or like Samus's armor makes them heavier than normal. Do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles count for Slant Time? They do. Will Otis the cow make an appearance? No spoilers for characters, but it's not out of the question. Would Eric Cartman try to outscam and outsmart Eddie and CIDR? Probably. Also, how are you going to be able to differentiate Star, Mabel, Charlotte, and Bubble since they all have roughly the same personality? That is a thing. Well, the thing with all four of them is that they have different. Well, one, they all have different gimmicks. Star is a magician. Mabel is Mabel's mostly like the base for this kind of personality type, plus her relationship with Dipper. Charlotte is mostly just an idiot in comparison to the rest of them who are just kind of bubbly. And Bubbles is well, a Powerpuff Girl, obviously. Bubbles also has, yeah, like you said, Bubbles has like her anger trait going for her. There's a lot of different things. These characters aren't nearly as similar as they would seem, but I do see like the problem that could arise with that. At least in the way that I'm writing these characters, they're nowhere near as similar as they feel like as I'm writing the scripts for this series. Question: Jackie Chan Adventures. Nice question. I'm not sure what not sure what that means, but for some reason I always thought Karen looked like a lightweight character since she kind of resembles one of those really tall lamps. I can see that, but I mostly just wanted Plankton to be a like a heavy baddie. He's not gonna be Plankton's not gonna be like the heaviest character. It's gonna be like Samus levels of heavy. The gimmick is Jacques, isn't it? No, it is not. For Jontron, the gimmick is not Jacques. I wish you'd continue working with Rebel Taxi. That would be, I mean, I, I do want to I do like Rebel Taxi a whole lot. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I would love to like make a move set for him, but I think there's like a lot of effort that would go into planning something like that that I don't think that I'd be willing to go with, mainly because I'm mostly focused on Slime Time and Cartoons Danganronpa now. So if I were to make a move set for another character, I'd want it to be like relatively simple. Is Bo Burnham still relevant enough in your interests? Yeah, still love Bo Burnham, as well as John Mulaney is still like a character that I still kind of want to make because John Mulaney's just hilarious, dude. John Mulaney is one of my favorite fucking comedians. Fucking not fully sure how I'll fully rebalance Mira with Box, but I'll definitely try my darndest. It's not about balance for Mira. It's mostly in that I don't think their moveset is very representative of Toilet Wonderland in general. A lot of the moves are very basic or don't actually have much to do with the things that go on in Toilet in Wonderland. For instance, Mira's like neutral B is like bald, right? Where she just becomes bald and it like stuns the opponent or does something. It's mainly in that in Toilet in Wonderland, the bald ability doesn't even really do anything. It's just kind of a cosmetic change. And yeah, that is how it is in like Yume Nikki, like with Maratsuki using a lot of these powers that don't really have much influence. But the thing is, in Yume Nikki, uh, the character is, or like the effects are kind of like are just like an addition to the story, or like the very minimalist story that's going on in the actual Yume Nikki game. In all of these Yume Nikki like games and fan games, it's mostly just about exploration. There's no actual like dialogue or anything going on. But with Mira, Toilet in Wonderland is such a bizarre game, not because of its atmosphere, but because of the dumb scenarios that go on and a lot of the situations that go on that you can definitely take from for a move set. Like the one thing that I think that Box definitely got right for Mira was the up B being the sardine or the just the fish, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure that was his up B, or that was Mira's up B. I thought like that is a very good way to represent the game because it's a goofy thing that happened in the story that's also that's well not well it is plot relevant, but it's a goofy thing that happened in the story that also has like weight. It's something that you'll remember, that you'll take from. Like the bald ability, however, is just kind of like it's just kind of there. It's not supposed to be something that you interact with much, as well as the spinning side B, whatever it is. Just I feel like there could have been a lot more influences from the comedy of Toilet in Wonderland rather than the the basic abilities that you can just grab from the game. my bad for going on like these long ass tangents again. I'm trying to get like to all of these questions, and then I like run into one question that I really want to elaborate on, and I just kind of end up elaborating for a long ass time. Cheesy out of the character movesets you did make. Which moveset is your favorite of mine? Or was your favorite? Mine was Ed, and Eddie, and between Larry and Rick and Morty. Mine's favorite moveset's definitely Ed, and Eddie. I mean, it's the moveset I put the most effort into. As for like what character that I would play as the most in terms of like all the characters in What If, it would definitely be Kaminashi Nozumi. Kaijo is a good ass anime. Y'all should watch that shit. But Kaminashi Nozumi just fits with the playstyle that that I like the most, and that's the Captain Falcon type rushdown character. That's the main reason why Kaminashi's like that, is because I really liked the idea of having a character who's purely about offense. When LOL in general is like a very defensive meta. Uh, will there be any Echo Fighters in the game called Oozes? That'd be a cute name for Echo Fighters in Slime Time. I don't know about it. I don't know about that. There will be Echo Fighters, but I don't know about calling them that. Which version of TMNT will you use, 2012 or Rise? I don't know, and I don't even know if I'm going to use Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'd probably use Rise of the TMNT, mainly because it's mainly because it's 2D and it would be easier to use, and also also because the turtles look more distinct from each other. But I don't know. Still not sure if I'm going to even have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It may sound like it came out of nowhere, but can you explain your depression? I'm just kind of sad, dude. I know that's a really weird thing to like really weird way to explain it, but like I don't know. I generally I can't really explain, but like sometimes I just have these bursts of just not wanting to do anything and just being upset about a lot of like very casual things. I don't know. It's something that is not as big as I probably like make it out to be, but I it's definitely something that affects me and something that keeps me from making videos from time to time. Just keep in mind that I'm not like clinically depressed or anything like that. I'm just sad occasionally, or like I just get these uh, I just get these like bursts of depression occasionally. Depression's not like a it's not always about being sad. It's often just about being repressed and not wanting to do anything. It has it's like it's not always about like crying or anything like that. It's just it's a little lesson there. I'll have to see Mira's moveset, and I think you can make a more thorough one. No offense to D-Box Productions. Yeah, it's not as much as I would. It's not as good as I would want it to be. No, yeah, like no offense to D-Box. He's a cool guy, but not a fan. Not a fan. Will they come out in order of their reveals? No, and that is one thing that I want to clarify. Slime Time characters will not come out in order of their reveals. It comes out just whenever I want to make the character, basically. But the ordering of the characters is like correspondent to their reveals. So right now, like the order of characters would be SpongeBob, Timmy, Jimmy, Danny, Plankton, Crocker, Calamitous, Vlad. That's numbers 1 through 8. That's the ordering of like the actual character list. However, movesets don't necessarily have to come out one at a time in that order. Did you cut Zone due to the recent drama involving the studio who made the video you used for his sprites? No. I didn't even know there was any drama. I just cut them because it was just not something that, or like, I realized that maybe I don't want to make this character. It happens sometimes. I still like Zotan and their work. Let's go. It's just that I changed my mind about making the character. That's it. Speaking of cut lol characters, Mulaney has Sack Lunch Bunch out now. So that's some crap one could work with for moveset ideas. Is that his new special? I actually have not heard about that until now. Also put Blossom and Aku as top tier. Alpha Red played it, showed that they're both Meta Knight levels of broken some moves. You'll see that I actually disagree with Alpha Red in a few places. You'll see. It's interesting. You're planning on making a tier list for What If, since many other lollers in the LOL Nexus server have their own templates for own lols? Probably not. Not too interested in doing that. I think it's cool. I think it's really cool that a lot of these lollers are doing that, but I don't think there's much of a point for me to do it. Maybe for Slime Time one day. Out of everyone in What If, I think I'm finally starting to catch up. Okay. Out of everyone in What If, she does feel like the most Smash-like, especially with ED. Yeah? Kaminashi's pretty cool. Alright, let me fucking get this. I have to update the chat and everything. My fucking... I don't always... like, I'm not completely caught up. Shit happens. In the meantime, let's progress with this extremely slow progressing tier list that I'm doing. Jesus Christ. Okay, the next character, and this is gonna surprise some of you, is gonna be Bubbles. Okay, so here's the thing about Bubbles. Bubbles has the Bubbles in terms of frame data and in terms of like stature and a lot of like the best traits about a lot of Smash characters. Bubbles is broken. Bubbles has so much good shit. She has good spacing tools and like her fair is very spammable. She has a great combo game in her side B. Her side B dashes forward, just like a dash forward basically with a hitbox, and it can combo into itself for a bunch of percent. She has up throw to up air combos. She has some like not out of shield options because out of shield doesn't really exist in this game. At least I don't think it does. She has just very fast moves that can like get you out of situations very quickly. However, she has the same problem that the bottom tier does, and that is that she is so weak. She has no kill power, and might make you think like, why is she in low tier instead of bottom tier when I already complained about these three being like having no kill power and that's why they're down here. Well, Bubbles has incredible movement. She has some great combos. She's able to just erratically move around the stage really frequently. So if you're willing to play like the extremely long game, you might be able to like get some results with her, but I think on a base level, she doesn't have much in terms of killing, and that's going to put her down a lot. She's basically the Sheik of this game. She has insane frame data, great movement. She has a lot of like creative combos, but she can't kill, and that's it. I know this is a bit weird because the rest of the Powerpuff Girls are pretty good, but Bubbles just doesn't have what it takes to be up there. When I say, like, I want to remind you, when I say no kill power, I mean literally not killing until about 300%. Like, that's not an exaggeration. 300% like is the starting kill power for some of these characters, and that is ridiculous. Uh, Moving on. Who is next on the tier list? I'm gonna complete low tier at the very least. All right, like before I get to more questions. Flapjack. Flapjack is sad. Flapjack is because the thing about Flapjack is that he actually has like a more complete moveset than a lot of the rest of these characters do. His forward air acts as one of the best spacing tools in the game, aside from like Aku Laser. But you know, Aku Laser is fucking Aku Laser, and Flapjack's forward air creates so much space in front of him. It can combo into itself if you land with it. Uh, he has he has a decent like a decent projectile game. He has two projectiles. The one that's like a regular projectile, just throw a hitbox forward basically. It's like a Falco laser, and then another one that's like a Link boomerang, but you can't really do anything in the middle of it. But it creates good space. The thing about Flapjack is that it's not even that he can't kill necessarily, it's that his moves are too slow to get those kills. He has a forward smash that has basically, I think the forward smash has worse frame data than Bowser's forward smash, which is insane to think about. And Flapjack, it's one of Flapjack's only kill moves. So he can't really do. I forgot to mention punch times. Punch time. I forgot to mention like the punch time mechanic. So Flapjack's punch time is a near one hit KO. But you have to have your opponent at like 40% in order for it to kill. And sometimes it just kind of misses for no reason. It's kind of inconsistent. But yeah, that's how some of these characters make up for lack of kill power is their punch times, and I'll go over these previous characters right now. Hostile Gato's punch time like barely kills. It's kind of bad. Him's punch time barely kills. It's kind of bad. Captain Planet's punch time is really easy to avoid, so it's kind of bad. Young Ben 10's punch time is mediocre. Kevin 11's punch time is decently good, but it's kind of easy to avoid. And then Bubbles is barely Bubble the one on Bubbles barely kills. So that's your whole summary for all of that. We'll get into like the more broken like punch times later, but you'll see. I'm good. But yeah, Flapjack just lacks a lot in frame data. His kill power isn't bad. It's not terrible, but he lacks a lot in comparison to the characters above him, as well as his frame data is just leaves a lot to be desired. He's definitely one of my favorite characters in the game to play as, but he's not very good. There are two more characters in low tier. I want to finish this up really quick before I move on to more questions. Mac and Bloo. Mac and Bloo are weird. You'd expect them to be like an Ice Climbers duo, but they're really not. They're more like Duck Hunt in that it's two characters just kind of strapped onto each other, but they're not separate at all. So what happens is Mac and Bloo have a lot of disjoints that involve Blue, and they're pretty good for creating space, and they actually have a decent gallery of kill moves. Not too much, but they at least have something. But the thing about Mac and Bloo is that it's like they have the same situation as Flapjack in that their frame data leaves a lot to be desired, so they can't really kill nearly as consistently as they would want to. They have decent combos. Their forward air actually makes them slide forward, It's like, what's a good comparison? Are there any forward airs in any Smash games that make you fly forwards? I don't think so. But just know that their forward air makes them like slide forward, and it's actually a really good movement option. But they're just lacking in a lot of consistency. They've got a decent amount of things going for them, but not enough to escape low tier. I think at one point I actually did have them in high tier at some point, but when I realized how inconsistent they were, I had to bring them down. It just wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough in comparison to the rest of these characters who all have something that they can lean on. And finishing up low tier is Billy and Mandy, who have not really the same problem, more in that they're a more consistent version of Mac and Blue with weaker kill power. They have, I think, literally one or two kill moves, and one of the kill moves is Billy's projectile, the booger. He just snorts out a booger, and it's just a projectile that launches you. And it actually has a decent amount of knockback at higher percents. I think at about 200, uh, it will kill on like almost any stage. So that's pretty good. But that is basically their only kill move, aside from their down B as well. It's neutral B and down B. Those are their only kill moves. And if they can't land those kill moves, then they're going to have a hard time doing anything else because they have a kind of mediocre combo game. Uh, they're framed out as decent. Their forward air has a weird property where if you forward air and then hold backwards after the forward air, you'll actually like teleport backwards and kind of slide back. So it becomes a really good spacing tool. I'm pretty sure they did not plan this at all. Like the creators did not plan this at all. But they have like a little wave dash with their forward air, and it's pretty good at creating space. But in their consistency just isn't good enough because they can only kill at like 200, 210, 220. Meanwhile, a lot of the characters above them can kill consistently at like 150, 140 at like decent percents. So yeah, they're consistent, but not in the way that you would like. You'd like them to have more kill power and like more things to work with. All right. Now that I'm done with low tier, now I'll get to some more questions. You still making an OG low tier list? I really wanted to for a while. I think I will at some point, but I don't know when. Speaking of Zone 10, here's another idea for a playable character. Agent Zero from the modifiers. Agent Zero is actually in the consideration list, actually. I think it could be a cool character, but I'm not sure if they have enough material, considering they only have a pilot. But just keep in mind, it is definitely something that I have considered. Who's your favorite character or characters from Steven Universe and why? I actually don't watch Steven Universe. Not a fan. I know that's kind of weird to think about, considering I'm a big cartoon fan, but I've just never been into Steven Universe. That's just me. It just doesn't attract me in any way. Don't blame the people who like it. It's definitely a show with like that has its qualities, just not for me. So I occur a few times in the original show, not punch time scenes. How are the executions in CIDR going to work? Nah, we'll have a sort of thing that's similar to like how I animate LOL videos or like LOL or slime time videos, where uh, I won't take the assets from anyone. Like I won't like crop them from a cartoon or anything like that. I don't want to do that. We'll have original artwork, but it'll be animated in the same way that I just animate LOL videos. just with a little more complexity because there's like more stuff going on in that than like a moveset. Have you ever seen that one Lawler by the name of I Love Amy Rose? Yeah, that fucking that motherfucker's a classic. It's a classic bad law. It's like the quintessential bad law. I actually meme the Angry Joe thing a lot with a couple of my friends. Is there someone in the Slime Time roster that is very obscure or you don't think people will see coming? There are a lot of characters like that. There are a lot of characters that have uh, origins from like something that's very minor or very uh, that you wouldn't see coming. I guess one slight spoiler would be that uh, there is a SpongeBob character that I have planned that is not someone you'd expect. That's the most I'll say. They're not they're a very out there character. You'll see. But in terms of like actual like obscure cartoons, I do have a few. Uh, because I one thing I used to do when I was little was uh, I used to watch like late night on Nicktoons Network and just catch all of these weird shows that no one ever watched or talked about, but I love them because they're like, holy shit, it's like an exclusive thing. No one's watching this but me. And even though like they were like good shows, anyway. But like there are a few like really weird examples of like shows that I do want to represent. Do the penguins in Madagascar count? They do count. They will. No guarantee that they'll be in Slime Time, but they would be viable as characters. If TMNT counts, then I believe the penguins would count for similar reasons. Yeah, not for exact similar reasons, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles isn't DreamWorks, but you get the picture. Same with like, what was it, Kung Fu Panda: Legends of Awesomeness, stuff like that. Favorite underrated character from cartoon is Jackie Lynn Thomas from Star Versus. What's yours? Underrated character from a popular cartoon, because there's a lot of like underrated characters from like underrated cartoons that I like. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go with Poof. Poof from Fairly Odd Parents. I think Sparky and Chloe were bad decisions, but I genuinely think that Poof added a good dynamic to the show. I think that Poof does not deserve to be categorized with Sparky and Chloe. I think Poof was a genuinely really good character and a really good choice from Butch Hartman. Like season 6 has a lot of my favorite episodes. Like Cheese and Crockers is a really underrated episode of Fairly Odd Parents. That episode is really good. I'm not even gonna spoil it. Just go watch Cheese and Crockers from season 6 whenever you get the time. That episode's amazing. Angry Joe moveset for LOL assist trophy. Or is that too bad an idea? I think it could work. I think it'd have to be pulled off by like one of the bigger Lawlers, though. Probably like good example. Like the bigger Lawlers, like I guess Scap or Shad or Jade or anyone in that fucking category. Probably wouldn't be done by Chin. Patchy the Pirate, nah, live action. He's in SpongeBob, but Oh, this is shit. This is back when I mentioned that like it was going to be an obscure. There was going to be an obscure SpongeBob character that no one knows. I'm not spoiling it. I don't know if you've answered this, but are there going to be Nick Jr. characters on the roster? At least Dora, anyways. Could be funny. There will be Nick Jr. characters. I won't spoil which ones, or I won't spoil which ones. But I do have a few Nick Jr. noggin representatives that I wanna at least try. At like third party like Sonic. Well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kung Fu Panda, Penguins, they would kind of be second party because they're already on the channel. A true third party would be someone who's just not associated with them at all, like a Cartoon Network character or something. Are rabbits viable? Yes, they are, but they're not going to be in because of this. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the rabbit show. Not a fan of most like lol random humor. It's just not my taste. Right. In the meantime, I'm going to continue a little bit with the mid tier. Uh, is it? I think the mid tier has the most characters. Oh no, it's actually the high tier that has the most characters. So I'll run through a few of the mid tiers really quick. So Mojo Jojo is a really it's kind of hard to describe character. He has a lot of the best and worst traits of other characters. Basically, he has uh, Ben 10 originals neutral B, not this one, not this one. He has Ben 10's neutral B, and that neutral B is pretty good. It's like a double laser shot, so it controls space really well. He has Bubbles and Blossom's side B, where they just dash forward and it can combo. He has decent recovery, uh, decent advantage. He's just kind of decent all around with nothing really all that special. He has okay kill power. Uh, some of his moves are either ridiculously fast or ridiculously slow. His down smash comes out like frame 3 or something. It is one of the fastest smash attacks in the game, and it actually has decent launching power, so it can just be used as like a regular tilt and has next to no end lag. I don't know why they made it like that. It's so weird. But fucking yeah, Mojo Jojo has a lot going for him, but it's like everything is so middle of the road that he just kind of has to be mid tier. He doesn't have the same strengths as like Aku or like Blossom or anyone like that has. His kill power is decent. His combo game's decent. Everything's decent. He's easily like one of the most average characters in the game. Uh, is Doug being considered? Yes, he is on the consideration list. I feel like the obscure character is the My Leg guy. Who knows? Who would you consider? Would you consider Bleemo a poor character? Someone would put in a lol. I think about this one often. Uh, I mean, it could be interesting. I'm actually not too big on the Frollo show. I do watch it. I do follow it. But it's not something that's really on my radar too often. But I do think that it could be an interesting moveset. think a lot of the things from the Frollo show could like have an interesting influence on LOL. But if anyone makes like Bleemo or anyone like that, it would have to be Chin himself. Definitely couldn't see anyone else doing it. Going back to a little bit what I said about TMNT and Penguins, would Garfield and Star Trek count? Yes, they would. They've got animated series coming, so yeah, they're definitely viable. Is the Nickelodeon Worldwide Day of Play going to appear or be referenced in Slime Time? I've never thought about that. That would be funny. Imagine just like having one day where like the game is just shut off. You're just not you're just not allowed to play the game. Go outside and play, you fucking asshole. Imagine that. That would be amazing. Someone has a big tournament coming up, and then every every Switch just shuts down. Every Nintendo Switch just fucking just shuts down. You're not allowed to play. But no, Worldwide Day of Play would probably be represented in like a spirit or something. Just something very minor. Cheesy, out of any of your Lawler friends, whose characters from their Laws do you like and why? I guess I can give like a rundown of some of my favorite LOL characters. So, hold up. Uh, I'll just go like favorite of each of some of my favorites. Favorite from Shadbad is probably Dan. Dan Backslide. I think Dan Backslide is a really funny character. I'm glad that something from like Warner Brothers has gotten like a really good like representation in LOL. I think his squash and stretch animations are really fun to look at. As well as Gary Oak. That's probably my other one, purely because it's Gary Oak, and I think that's a really cool idea. Uh, and I think his moveset is really fun. Uh, Favorite from like the origin like LOL original is probably uh, Weird Al. Like Weird Al or Panty and Stocking. Mainly just because I like those characters a lot. Uh, from I'm trying to think of like various LOLs I could talk about. Fucking from like LOL Nova. Uh, Favorite is who would be my favorite from LOL Nova? Probably, you know what? Honestly, probably Metalhead. I think Metalhead is a really fun concept, especially as like an echo fighter, and like being this like really slow heavyweight who's this fucking weird like trap based character is very interesting. Uh, then a few others. I guess I would say from just like to run through like some of these quickly because I don't want to spend too much time on this. From like Silent Chatterbox, from like Lol Soul, probably my favorite is probably Grinch, which I think is the most recent one. It's just a really solid moveset. It's got a lot of really fun ideas, and I'm glad that the Grinch is represented in some way. From El Neo, mm, probably I'm gonna have to like default to Panchito SpongeBob. I know it's like the most recent one, but it's like Jade's one of those like lollers that gets better with like each consecutive moveset, especially since they don't like update too often. Uh, and then for like some other ones, I really like Jafar from LOL Mad. I think that one's like very well animated. I think that's all I'll cover for now. There are a few other laws that I really like, but I don't want to dwell on this topic too much. Are you regular dude 45? Yes, I am. Will Nick characters from LoL make it into Slime Time? One example being Gir. Uh, yeah. Like I'm not gonna like this is supposed to represent like Nickelodeon as a whole. This is just supposed to be like what Nickelodeon would choose for characters in a platform fighter that they made. It basically has no influence. Like any character in a different LOL has no influence on my choices. So like Gurr is in What If, but he's still viable for a slot in Slime Time. As well as like just keep in mind this like Slime Time it's like different from LOL, but it is basically a LOL. Just it has a different structure. It has a different structure and a lot of small, minute differences, especially with like the limited roster. Most LOLs aren't limited to one singular topic, but it'd be like that. Imagine if there's DLC in Slime Time. I'm not sure how that would work considering this game isn't playable. Considering this game is literally just editing. What do you think of PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale? I don't like it. I genuinely think Cartoon Network Punch-Time Explosion is a better game. That's a controversial opinion right there, but I, I just hate the idea of only using one move to kill someone. I think that's annoying. Like having to charge up for like a special, it like takes away from a lot of the best things about platform fighters. All right, so let me move on a little bit to the next mid-tier character, who is going to be Monkey. The two monkeys are next to each other. Monkey's very solid. He has like maybe three moves that are really good, and you just kind of spam them. His forward air is gigantic. He stretches his arms out, and it controls a shit ton of space. It's I don't know. It's so weird. It just he holds his arms out, and it has a hitbox, and it combos into itself, and it has no ending lag. Is one of the best spacing tools in the game, honestly. He has a decent combo game. He can chain forward airs into each other. Uh, he only really has like one kill move, and that's his up B. But like he has a few things to set up into his up B. You can do up throw into up B, as well as like landing up air into up B. His punch time explosion is like it's kind of hard to like not kill with his punch time explosion. As long as you're trying, then it's like a free stock because you can just drag the opponent all the way to the top of the blast zone. What he does is like he just glows, and then he has a hitbox surrounding him for like 10 seconds, and you can just rail over like your opponents and just kill them that way. So it's like he's very basic. He's kind of like Mojo in that he's only got a few tools to really lean on, but those tools are pretty good. He's fairly consistent. He just doesn't take much strategy. Is Gur going to be separate character or part of Zim's moveset? If Gur is in Slime Time, he would be a separate character. I never liked the idea of pairing Zim and Gir together. Like I'm a big Invader Zim fan. I'm an Invader Zim nut, and I know like a lot of like Lawlers or like anyone who's like suggested anything with like Zim has like Gir as like an assist character or like someone who comes out and like does a thing. And it's like I don't like that because Gir has so much potential in and of himself. He's not just a sidekick. Like he's got his own uh little things that he can do. He's got his own custom or like cool little abilities that are unique to him. Why would you subject him to just being a minor part of Zim's moveset when Zim already has like so many cool things that he can do, like uh, stuff with his like various pieces of technology, his pack that has the spider legs in it that could also like work for a bunch of attacks. It's just I don't understand why would you pair them together when both of them already have so much material like by themselves. I hate how they make Chit Skylark 599. That's amazing. What if you did something like every best of every move for Punchline Explosion? Oh, you mean like how Mock Rock did his whole thing? That would be funny. I'd probably say like best forward air goes to Monkey. Best best forward air goes to Monkey. Best neutral air probably goes to Dexter. You'll see why. Oh no, best neutral air absolutely goes to Captain Knuckles. You'll see why. Damn. Oh, there's a couple things that I gotta detail about that. Is CIDR going to have a timeline or is it a one and done? It is going to have. There are various events that happen before and after the story of CIDR. You'll see it. There's a couple things that I have planned. I have a whole like CIDR was not something that I just decided. Oh, I wanted to make Danganronpa with cartoons. I did create my own timeline and a lot of different events that correspond with the events of CIDR. Things that I can't spoil, obviously, but I have these in place purely. Uh, I have these in place purely for like any future events, or to like explain the reasoning behind why certain characters are where they are. If Ren and Stimpy are going to be fighters, will they be tag team or have separate move sets? They will probably be a tag team. Because having like I know that I split up Ed and Eddie, but that's because I feel like they all have, like they're all completely different. Ed and Eddie all have like their own complete archetype that goes within and of themselves, but like Ren and Stimpy are kind of defined by each other and their relationships with each other. I know that's somewhat true for Ed and Eddie, but it's like detrimental to how they are in like the Ren and Stimpy show. There are a lot of episodes in like Ed and Eddie in which like the Eds don't really uh, need to interact with each other in order to like create a good scene. Meanwhile, like a lot of Ren and Stimpy's scenes, or like the majority of Ren and Stimpy scenes, like rely on them beating each other up. So you feel me? Moving on with another addition to the tier list. The next character is going to be Vilgax in mid tier. Now, Vilgax is probably the best big character, like the best giant character aside from like Scotsman, but you'll see why. But uh, the thing about Vilgax is that he just has gigantic hitboxes. His hitboxes are massive and they take up so much of the screen, and I don't see any way that you can get out of a lot of them. He has a micro version of Aku's laser, which, I mean, even having a fucking miniature version of it is broken. So he's able to control space very well. Uh, Although one thing is that some of his hitboxes, while they are massive, they won't hit short characters. Like they hit a straight line or like a big line that's above like a lot of characters. Like imagine Vilgax next to Bubbles. Vilgax is gigantic next to Bubbles, and a lot of his stuff like his forward air will just straight up miss her unless it's spaced perfectly. That's one of the things keeping him in mid tier, as well as the other thing being that Vilgax is the biggest piece of combo food in the entire game. Uh, a lot of these characters that I said don't have that many combos can often get like really long combos on Vilgax. And by really long combos, I mean ridiculous. Chowder actually has, I believe, an infinite on Vilgax, or a zero to death at the very least. Uh, Chowder can do up throw, up air, or up throw, up tilt, up tilt, up tilt, up tilt to infinity, which shifts into up air, up air, up airs, up airs, and then leads into an up B, which will kill if executed perfectly. Just Vilgax, his big hurt box makes him one of the easiest characters to hit. So if he's going against anyone with superior zoning, he has like next to no chance. Like if he's going against Aku, he can just laser him. He can like laser him so much better than Vilgax can laser him back. If he's going against Grim, he can usually just spam his neutral B. There's a lot of things, a lot of characters that can just kind of spam against Vilgax and win. It'd be like that in Punch Time Explosion, the greatest game ever made. But besides SpongeBob and Plankton, will there be any other major SpongeBob characters? You'll see. You'll see. Are you gonna add any more villains to Slime Time besides Plankton, Crocker, Calamitous, and Vlad? Yes, I will, but I won't tell you which ones. Okay, who is next? Oh yeah, the very next character, Scotsman. Scotsman has the same problems as Vilgax in that he's a giant hurt box. He kind of gets camped out by a lot of characters that outcamp him, and he's got very well, not his frame data is better than a lot of the other characters, but it still leaves a lot to be desired. The main thing with him is that he has Cloud Nair, and when I say Cloud Nair, I mean his up air is Cloud Nair from Smash 4, and it combos into itself forever. His up air is this gigantic swing of a sword that covers his entire body that also just combos and grabs people from like a mile away. It's insane. You should see it. I wish I could show footage of it, but I don't have any way of actually doing that right now. But it's ridiculous. He has unlike Vilgax, he has a lot of dud moves. Like I'm pretty sure his neutral B has no application at all. It's just kind of a stream of bullets. If you've seen you remember Hitler's side B, right? It's basically that, but it only shoots for like half a second, and it has next to no knockback, and it has like a full like 2 seconds of cooldown. It's just not very good. Yeah, aside from that, he's just big, fat. He has good kill power because he's, big, fat, heavy. But aside from that, he doesn't really have too much. He's just kind of a standard character, and that's what this mid tier is for. Have you seen Dilbert? No. I don't know what that is. So Vilgax is kind of like a glass cannon? Kinda. Kinda. Definitely one of the most polarizing characters. Listening to this live stream has got me excited for the future of this channel. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to see more. Thank you. And the final character in mid tier is the character who I think has one of the biggest drop-offs in my opinion, and that is Toylinator. Toylinator, I used to think was a top tier character. I thought that this character was broken, or at least he could compete very well with a lot of the rest of the characters, but Toylinator proves to be a character with a lot of potential that doesn't really have much to offer in the end. If you don't know this about Toylinator, his forward air actually like drags you in. It's a hitbox that brings the opponent towards you, and it's disjointed, which that's really good. That's one of the like best combo tools in this entire game. He can drag someone to him with his forward air, and then grab him, throw them upwards, and then do up air chains, or he could do forward air into down B, which is like one of his more powerful moves. You can do forward air into side B, which racks up damage. He has a lot of setups like that. He can even like do a reverse, like drag you across the stage. Like imagine that you and Toylinator are like on the ledge. So he can like whip you and then just continuously bring you towards him while he backs away all the way across the stage. It's really fun. He's one of the most fun characters to play, I will say. And he does have a kill confirm in up throw up air, or not up throw up air, up throw to up B. Up B has considerable kill power, and generally up Bs are like the main kill moves for almost every character that's even remotely relevant. I don't think I've mentioned up Bs for any of these characters, and that's because they're not that relevant. Like their up Bs don't kill. The only up B like in this segment that kills, I think, are Scotsman and Monkey, and those two do have like some relevance. Their up Bs have good knockback. Toylinator's has like pretty good knockback as well as he has a good combo game. He has some great spacing tools. What he's the thing that he's lacking in though is like an amount of like reliable setups, and his frame data is not that great. He has obviously he has forward air, but aside from that, a lot of his frame data just isn't that great, and his knockback for some of his like more crucial spacing tools just leave a lot to be desired. Especially since like if you mess up on forward airs, if you mess up on like on a forward air, you'll be dragging the opponent towards you, and then the opponent will probably like if you mess up the execution of like the next forward air or like whatever your next follow up is, Toylinator will probably get punished, and you don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up an approach like that against a lot of the top tiers. But yeah, I think this is the last of the mediocre characters. I think of the rest of these are going to be stupid. They're gonna be stupid. Alright, so going on with the rest of these, hooking the next character, and this is moving on to high tier. We're going on to the good characters now. The next character is going to be Johnny Bravo. So Johnny is the most brain dead character in the game. Johnny, all he really does is spam combs. He spams his neutral B, which is the comb, and it is a really fast and really annoying projectile to deal with. So he just racks up damage that way, and then the thing he does after that is he looks for an up B kill, and his up B kill is one of the better up B kills in the game. And he can combo off of it. He can combo forward throw into up B because his up B goes at an angle. So you have to do forward throw in order to combo into up B. And that is the entire character. There's next to nothing else that this character does. All of the rest of his moves are kind of mediocre, and so he kind of has to rely on this. Oh, also his nair. His neutral layer is one of the best neutral layers in the game. I would actually say it's the best neutral layer in the game. Because neutral layer combos into itself, as well as at hypersense, neutral layer also combos into up B. So what you do as Johnny is you spam combs. You spam combs at a distance. If you get close to an opponent, then you just kind of spam neutral layer, try to get a combo started off with neutral layer, and then go for up B kill confirms. That's your entire game plan as Johnny, and he's a high tier. Isn't this game great? Moving on. Moving on. Father. Father is actually a lot more accurate to Captain Falcon than Captain Planet is, even without like having the knee. He has Falcon Punch, and it's a quicker version of Falcon Punch actually. So it can actually be, well, it's not completely viable. It is usable, and you can use it in like an edge guard situation potentially, or like potentially as a hard whiff punish. So he has that as a kill move. He has his up B as a kill move as well. His side B, and this is the thing, his side B is another move where he just dashes back and forth, and the thing about it is that he can literally combo his side Bs into more side Bs till like 120%. It's ridiculous. He has this stupid move that just combos forever and just racks up damage like no one's business. And that's kind of it. That's a lot of these like higher tiered characters. They're a little easier to explain because they usually focus on one strategy, and that's kind of it. His up B kills, neutral B kills, and his side B racks up damage. Aside from that, he's decent in terms of his moves. Not the best. His forward air is a decent spacing tool. Up air is a decent juggling tool. Down air actually like launches a fireball downwards and is a big disjointed hitbox, so it's very good for landings. Father just has a very formidable kit. He's not one of the best characters, but he's definitely one of the better characters. He's got a lot going for him. I gotta finish this fucking tier list before I'm 30. So the next character is Buttercup. Buttercup has one of the most elaborate combo games outside of top tier. She's able to do a lot of things such as forward air. Like, she can short hop double forward air, which I can't believe a character can do that in this game. So she can short hop double forward air, which combos into each other, which combos into her down B, which in and of itself is a combo starter. You can do down B into up airs or into more forward airs. So potentially what you can do for this character is forward air, down B, launch with up air, do another up air, and then I think you can finish off with an up B. She has a lot of like little combos like this, and it's really entertaining to play as her. She has a decent zoning tool in her neutral B. She launches a big fireball, which has decent knockback and can kill occasionally. Her down B can also kill, so it's a matter of like mixing up, uh, or like using neutral B and down B for kills. Her up B, weirdly enough, doesn't kill, which is very strange for a character in this game because every character has an up B that kills in this game. Yeah, she has a lot of combo starters. A lot. She's just got one of the best combo games in in this game. Period. It's very. She's not nearly as good as like Blossom, obviously, but she's got a lot going for her. Next character, and this is my main, Chowder. Chowder is stupid. So what Chowder does in his matches is he uh, looks for the grab. He looks for the grab. He grabs you, up throw, up air, up air, up tilt, up tilt, up tilt, up air, like he's like his name is Mario in Smash 4, and he continues to do that until you're at like 150%, and then he finishes you off with up B. On certain characters like this, or on certain stages, this will kill. Not every stage, obviously, but after he racks you up to like 160%, it's all a matter of getting that last killing blow with like up B or potentially down B, I think. And that's really all that he needs. Kimchi, which he uses in like his neutral B and his down B, makes for an exceptional zoning tool. He creates a lot of space with Kimchi because what he does with his like neutral B is he throws it and it explodes. He throws Kimchi and he like farts and explodes, and it covers a wide area as well as you can do it while running away. So Chowder can always create space, except for against like some of the uh, biggest zoners in the game. Aside from like those few characters, he is like near unmatchable in a lot of scenarios. Ben 10 old is pretty. He's supposed to be the basic character. He's supposed to be very solid, and in that he is very solid. He has basically he's a jack of all trades, master of none, basically. Uh, but in having the jack of all trades, that means that he has basically everything that's good about a lot of characters, just toned down a little bit. So he has a combo game that is like reminiscent of Chowder with his like up air chains, but it's not nearly as good as Chowder's and it doesn't lead to a kill. He has the spacing, like the weird spacing tools of like Billy and Mandy and Monkey, just like slightly not as good, but he can influence his direction while he's doing like forward air. Uh, his side B is one of the best kill moves in the game, honestly. It has a shit ton of lag, but if you hit someone with it, they will die at like 120, which is like the earliest anyone dies in this game. He has the neutral B of Mojo Jojo, and well, it's a good spacing tool, and it's just good for general zoning. He's just solid. He's got a good combo game, good recovery, good kill power. He's got good frame data. He's got everything. He's got everything that you would want in a character. Sex that he's in Punch Time Explosion. And then rounding out, there are two more characters in high tier. Two more characters. Oh yeah, I'm gonna check real quick. That's going to be starting with Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack is Marth. You expected me to say something else, but no, he's just Marth. And as being Marth, he has good, he has really good disjoints with his forward air, and other various moves like his forward smash. Uh, he has just a lot of really long moves. Uh, he has decent kill power on his forward smash, on his up B. He has a decent combo game with his up air juggles. He has, like I said, he's just a disjointed sword man. He's just Marth. He's just Marth, and that's all you need. If you're Marth, then you're a pretty good character, honestly. He doesn't have tipper hitboxes, but hey, he doesn't really need them. He's just an overall very solid character, and I could see this being like the most played character if like this game were to get any sort of meta, because he's very easy to play. He has very like comprehensible zoning tools. He has a good combo game that you can actually get decently creative with. His side B is another dash forward side B that combos, because every character needs that. He's just solid, just really good. And then number one will round out the high tier, because he is a character with a lot of combos. He has Chowder's combo game, but he has an insane amount of aerial mobility. This character has like 4 or 5 jumps, and he also has some of the best air mobility and jump height in the game. Imagine if Kirby had like Falco jumps. That's basically this character. And he's able to control space very well. He can just keep himself out of your range by just jumping really high and then shooting lasers downwards. He has a downwards laser with his down B. He's able to do that and then fucking just zone you out. He just runs away from you the entire game. He'd be in top tier if like top tier and broken tier weren't, top tier and broken tier, but you'll see. I'll take a break to answer some more questions. Will characters in CIDR swear? CIDR. Well, characters in CIDR swear aside from Eric and Kyle. You forget that Morty's in here too, but no, I am actually not allowing any character to swear that is not from an adult cartoon. Uh, Looking at the main menu for Slime Time Splatter, I get MVC2 vibes from it. Oh yeah, because well, it's got the comic style and everything. In order to keep us with this live quality is crushed to insanity, so I must ask who's on the far left. I didn't realize that the quality was that bad. My bad. Uh, on the far left of the list is Aku. I'm guessing is who you're referring to. This one. Cheesy, have you ever heard of a game called Detroit Become Human before? Have you played it before? I've heard the name. I've never seen anything about it though. Question: has the death order for CIDR been decided? Yes, it has been decided a long time ago. Well, for something like Cartoons and Danganronpa, or like for a Cartoon Network, for a cartoon or for a Danganronpa project, you need to have like all of your deaths already kind of lined up, so that you can like base the story around the events of that. You need a lot of like this planning stuff to go before you even begin to write any script for anything, and that's what I did. Do you hydrate enough? Probably not. I probably don't drink as much water as I should. Alright, I'm gonna run this by real quick. These are the top 5 characters in Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion, and this is they're dumb. They're all very dumb. Are these characters like counter everyone that who is mid tier and below, and mostly beat all of high tier, aside from a few exceptions. So, uh, I gotta recheck on the list. Yeah, Captain Knuckles is in top tier. So Knuckles is the only character with a trap move in this entire game. He has his neutral B, which lays down a sand trap, in which if someone touches it, they'll get stunned. Uh, and Knuckles has one of the best punish games in the game. He has an insane combo game. His neutral air is ridiculous in that it's a multi-hit move that also combos into itself and combos into forward air. You can push people into what's it called? You can push people into the sand traps and make them get stunned even more, or like just make them get stunned again, and it's ridiculous the kind of shit that he can do. His frame data is probably the best in the game, honestly. His forward air is insanely long and disjointed. I don't know why. He just punches forward, but it has so much distance. Like, you see these stubby little arms, but these arms go like all the way over here, and I don't know why. And the best thing about Knuckles by far is that his smash attacks kill extremely early. Like, I'm pretty sure his forward smash kills at like 90 or 100 at the ledge. And his up B is one of the best kill moves in the game, period. His up B will kill most characters at 80 or 70, and that is ridiculous. When in this game, a lot of characters don't even kill till like 200. One of the strongest characters in terms of just straight up kill power. Cheesy, how many characters will survive in CIDR? That's for me to know and for you to find out. How did you feel when you beat DBV3? I'm guessing you mean Danganronpa V3? And they used the ending you were gonna use? Well, like, the endings weren't exact, but it was similar enough that I didn't want to do it. I thought that I really liked the ending of V3. It was my favorite ending of any of the Danganronpa games, as much as that's probably a controversial opinion. I don't know. I just really like the sentiment that it gave, and it had a lot of like impact on, or like it had a lot of relevance to how I feel about life, and with the medium of like fantasy and animation and stuff. We're not going to. Let's go. I'm not going to say anything that actually happened in V3 because y'all should play that for yourselves. Alright, moving on. Running by this fast. Grim. I said that Johnny Bravo was the most brain-dead character. I was wrong. It's Grim. Grim uses 2 moves. Ever. All of his moves are actually really bad. Aside from forward air, side B, and neutral B. All of his moves are bad aside from that. So, like, with Johnny, you can like occasionally throw out like, oh, I guess I'll do like forward air or like jab every now and then, but Grim doesn't have that luxury because all of his moves are bad aside from that. But the moves that are good are so good that it's so stupid. It doesn't matter. He's one of the only characters in this entire game who can actually edgeguard because his side B covers like half of the stage and also does an immense amount of knockback, and it also surrounds like almost his entire body, so you don't even have to be very accurate with it. All you have to do is just chain side Bs and just push your opponent gradually off stage, and then edgeguard them with the side B as well. Just forward air, side B, and then like neutral B if you just don't want to interact with your opponent for some reason. He's like neutral B is a projectile, so he's just able to do a lot of these things that people just can't contend with. He's that good with just those few moves. His side B is a better kill move than like all of mid tier and below's entire characters. His side B is a better character than all of these characters. Like, this is not an exaggeration. And ending off top tier is a surprise because you all think that Aku is the most broken motherfucker in the game, and he is pretty broken, but he is one of the most dysfunctional characters in the game as well. Aku has a lot going for him in that his neutral B is like frame 1 or 2, and it extends to like towards the entire screen. It is one of the best zoning tools in the game. It's probably the best zoning tool in the game, honestly. And it has no lag, no startup lag. It covers half of the stage. Honestly, like most of, like almost all of a good chunk of stages, at least the legal ones. Uh, and his up B kills. And those are the main traits that you need in this game in order to be a good character. Uh, but the thing that makes me not put Aku at the absolute broken tier is that Aku is finicky. He has a lot of things that kind of don't work unless the stars kind of align for you. He's one of the glitchiest characters in the game. A lot of his moves can like weirdly disproportionate or are weirdly disproportionate with him and can like cause his model to glitch. He's definitely probably I think that he's the most unfinished character like in the roster. Uh, if you manage to, and he can only get a kill on you. Well, he can get a kill by potentially chaining neutral Bs until you get all the way into the blast zone, but that's a little hard to do. So his only kill move is his up B, realistically. So if you don't get the up B, then you won't be killing the opponent for very long. And I know, like, it's weird to... I know this is, like, oh boy, this character not fucking being able to kill with one move. Oh man. It's not like he's top tier or anything. No, this character is still broken. This character is still stupid. It's just that he's not as stupid as I think a lot of people make him out to be. He has a lot of problems that get remedied when put up against Blossom and Dexter, who are in broken tier. In fact, I'll just put them up here right now. This is the full tier list. So I do think Aku handily beats almost every character below him, but he doesn't beat Blossom or Dexter, and that's the main thing, because Blossom and Dexter are stupid. Blossom and Dexter both have extremely easy kill confirms. They have combo games that rival Chowder's, and Chowder's combo game is literally a 0 to death combo game unless he like fucks up. Meanwhile, Blossom decides to neutral B, yeah. And here's the thing: you all think that the ice breath isn't infinite. It's not. It's actually not. You can mash out of the ice breath, so it's not an infinite. You can't chain those together. However, like you can't chain those together in like a realistic setting. The reason Alpharad was able to do that in his videos is because he was playing against computers who don't actually mash, so they didn't get out of the ice breath as early as they should have. But you can mash out of it, like you can mash out of like a shield break or a grab. But it doesn't even matter because Blossom can blow ice breath, and then she doesn't have to follow up with another ice breath. She can just side B you, which starts a combo, and she can just do like a 100% combo just out of the blue, just complete freeform combo with like nair, forward air, up tilt. All of these moves combo into each other and also just don't send the opponent anywhere. So she's just able to continuously rack up damage, and then she has a kill confirm at the very end of it. She has a kill confirm in Up Throw Thunder, which is the most broken kill confirm in the entire game. She grabs you, up throw, Thunder, which is her down B. It's like Pikachu Thunder. Grab, up throw, Thunder, and then you're dead at like 80 or 90. So she can rack up all of that damage on you and then instantly get a kill, as well as that her side B is also a very potent zone breaking tool. So she has no problem. She never gets zoned out, even by like Aku's laser. She never gets zoned out. She is always on top of you, is always comboing you, and always has a way of killing you. She is the most broken character in the game. And then there's Dexter, who is the second most broken character in the game. Dexter basically just fucking... Dexter is like a watered down Blossom. He has these exact same traits that I just mentioned with Blossom. He grabs you and then he does like a shit ton of damage from like one combo, like forward air, forward air, forward air across the stage, or up throw, up air, up air, up air, neutral air, forward air. Like these are just combos that I'm just spouting out, but these are all true combos that I'm listing. As well as he has a teleport. He's the only character with a teleport, I believe. He can side B and teleport like into your zone. He never gets zoned out because of that. That's why he does. That's why he also beats Aku, because he can bypass someone's zone just immediately, and then he's able to up throw Thunder, just like Blossom. It's worse, albeit it's a worse up throw Thunder, but he has up throw Thunder, and he can do it, and it will kill. As well as his I didn't mention this before, but this game doesn't have dash dancing. If you try to dash dance like with one of these characters, you'll just kind of go back and forth and like stop in the middle, or like jerk a little bit by accident. What would you say is the lowest tiered character in your LoL? Probably Starbomb Link. I think he's pretty bad. All of his moves are really slow. He doesn't really have much going for him. He's just kind of a character I just threw together for no reason. I was just like, hey, I can do Starbomb Link. That would be cool. I should do him. And then I did him, and it was like really simple. So my questions haven't really pertained to your more original ideas. That's fine. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Dexter has all of Blossom's traits, and all of these characters. That's what I was on before I went into that tangent. None of these characters can dash dance except for Dexter. For some reason, when Dexter turns around, or like when you turn around with Dexter at any point of his dash, he will turn around immediately. Like, he turns around frame one. He will immediately turn around. So he has some of the best mix-up potential in the entire game, purely because he's able to move wherever he wants, whenever he wants, without like the limits of the game restricting him. As well as he's one of the only character, or I think he's the only character with a punch time explosion that kills everyone in one hit, regardless of anything. Like, and his punch time explosion is basically a Samus Final Smash, where it's just a big laser that reaches across the entire screen. But his laser reaches across the entire screen and also kills in one hit. Like, it's not a multi-hit thing with Samus. It hits once and then you go rocketing towards the blast zone and then you're dead. That's it. You are completely dead. None of the rest of the characters have anything like that, and I don't know why they made it so that his fucking punch time explosion kills no matter where you are on the screen. it's it's very it's very weird. But yeah, this is my definitive tier list. I'm probably gonna post this to Twitter later, but this is the Punch Time Explosion tier list. I know there's like a community. There's a Punch Time Explosion community, and they have their own like tier lists and everything. They have their own uh, what's it called? They have their own dolphin build that's like optimized for playing this game. But I don't know. Well, I haven't done anything like that, so I'm gonna disregard that. This is my opinion. My opinion is the only one that matters. Not playing. So now that your tier list is done, now what? This is basically all I wanted to do was do a tier list and like answer some questions. So I'm probably going to head off in a second. Charlotte being in CIDR implies she'll die. I can't live anymore. uh, but yeah, that was basically all I wanted us to do. I'm glad that y'all were able to sit with me and see my stupid opinions on stupid game. Whew, but I've been doing this for a while now. I don't know how long have I been streaming? Like maybe 2 hours. But no, there will not be a slime time reveal right now. I wouldn't do that in like a live stream like this. Maybe later. Maybe sometime later because I do have a direct on the way. I do want to make a slime time direct with live reactions. Uh, I have where in the direct I want to reveal a few characters and I also want to show off a few new stages as well as a few new mechanics that pertain to like some of the more casual aspects of platform fighters. So that will be the that I don't know when that will come out, but it will be the next thing that I do with Slime Time most likely. As well as Timmy is the next moveset on the way. I'm currently making that as well. Uh, just got into production of that. I've done a decent chunk of Timmy's animations. Timmy has, I think, about like half of his animations finished. So yeah, just got that to look forward to. As for cartoons and Danganronpa, I want to get back to working on that. I I'm hoping that Eddie's free time events will be the next video that I post. I genuinely do want that to be the next video that I post because it's been a while since I promised that Eddie was going to have his free time events done, but you know, it'll come out. I have the whole thing written. I just gotta edit it, and editing is like the hardest part of it, obviously, because it's editing. It's not. I'm not just like writing out a script where I can just kind of like mimic the dialogue that I think that these cartoon characters would say. Things in terms of character ideas. Cheesy, have you watched or seen Vanos Gaming? I have not. Well, I know what they are, but I've not watched them. I hope you make more streams like this in the future. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do more of this sometime. Maybe not too often, but like this, I thought this would be like a little fun thing to do for people to, enjoy. Just anyone who wants to just casually like walk in and see what dumbass thing I'm doing or like what I'm talking about. One final question: are there any release dates confirmed? No, there are no release dates on anything for me because I don't know when I'm gonna finish anything. I always plan to finish things on time, and then like I don't, and then I get upset. So I don't know. I don't have any actual like confirmed release dates for anything. Just know that they're on the way, basically, and they'll be made in the coming like months. I'm not the fastest YouTuber because I don't have a crew. It's all me, and I don't have the best equipment. I'm not don't have too much that I'm working with. The only person I even work with occasionally is Soda, and that's mostly just for CIDR, not even for Slime Time. For Slime Time, it's like 100% me. Rocco and Slime Time, I'm not confirming anything. Stream was really nice and chill. Yes, thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna sign off. It's been fun. Just doing some dumbass things. Just talking about Punch Time Explosion while, like, in the background while answering a few questions. It's fun. It's fun. So yeah, I'll do this again sometime. Least favorite Cartoon Network show? I don't know. I don't watch Cartoon Network nearly as much as I watched Nickelodeon back in the day. I guess, like, I don't want to be the stereotype. This is like fucking Teen Titans Go. Uh, Problem Solvers. Let's go with that, because that show's bad, and there's like no one who can defend that show. Bonus question: what's your Twitter? My Twitter is that cheesy basta. It's just that cheesy bastard, but without the R and the D at the end.